Let me hold the book. And we're live! Yay! Hi everyone. My name is Trinh. You're on my channel, Transformers, and today we're going to be discussing Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead, which is the very first book of Vampire Academy, the series. So, real quick, we're going to do a quick introduction, our name, our channel, and then if it's our first time reading the book or like a reread. And then also thoughts on the first book, so like spoiler-free thoughts. So my name is Trinh. You're on my channel. And this is my second time reading this book. My first time was like back in 2015. So it's been 6 years. And my thoughts on the first book, it was very addicting. I couldn't put it down. It was just like really fun. And it also is really dark, like way darker than I remember, because I don't have a good memory. So I really didn't like remember anything. So when I reread this book, I was like, hey, this is like dark, like way darker than any of the young adult novels I've read. So that's my thought on the first book. So Joel, you next.
Oh, hello. My name is Joel. I run the BookTube channel Fictional Fates. This is my very first time reading.
50K.
Thank you.
50K.
This is my very first time reading the Vampire Academy because I had actually watched the film before reading the book, and then I was like, "Oh, I've got to check the books out now." And the very first book was actually really good. I think that it reminds me a lot of like the YA that I had read like years ago, but then also had, like Trinh said, this darker undertone to it that I really liked, and it's like unlike something that I read in like older YA from like 20 whenever which year this was published, for like this period. So yeah, I think it was pretty good.
Okay, Sandy.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm from the channel Sandy Reads a Lot, and this is actually a reread of Vampire Academy for me. I think this is like the third time I'm reading it. I first read it back in like 2013, and then I tried to reread the whole series like a few years ago, but then I never finished doing that. So I'm excited to actually like follow through with it this time with being part of the read along. Thoughts on the book. I actually didn't enjoy it as much as the first time, obviously, because I feel like my taste in books have definitely changed throughout the years, but Vampire Academy is like still one of my all-time favorite series. And it was just really fun to kind of go back and be in the Vampire Academy world again. And I really love Rose. She has always been one of my favorite characters. I love how sassy and badass she is. And also just seeing how much she cares for Alyssa and how she's willing to do anything to pretty much protect and save her. And yeah, I'm excited to talk more about my thoughts later on in this live show.
Yay. Tiffany?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany from Read by Tiffany. And this is probably like my, honestly, like fifth time reading this book. I am so trash for this series because this was probably the first book that got me into reading YA. And this was the book that got me into reading like fan fiction. And then I was just so obsessed. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I know this book isn't like super, super, super great, but to me, it holds like a special place in my heart that I like always enjoy rereading this. I think I actually reread this last March when COVID hit too.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioned in the video, and then I comment back being like, oh my god, I'm planning to do this, and then you're like, hey, I want to join. Okay. Hi everyone in the live chat. Hi. Group chat. This is a group chat basically.
I mean, lives are basically a massive group chat, so
yeah. Okay, hi everyone. Oh my god, I think a lot of people are saying it's their first time reading it, their second time reading it. Oh wow, let me see. This one's reading it the second time around. I definitely liked it better. I don't know. I definitely noticed that the first time I read this on Goodreads, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. But then rereading this, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. But still, like I still enjoy the book, so like it's not bad or anything. But it's just like I think now I'm more critical of my ratings in the books that I read, I guess. So like it's not like, oh my god, I love this book so much that I had to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. But still, I enjoy it enough to give it a 4 out of 5, which is like a still good rating.
I also think it's hard for me to like, what's the word? Unbiased, like be impartial when it comes to rating this book, because I think of it in the whole Vampire Academy universe with Bloodlines too. Yeah. And I love Bloodlines like a lot. So Yeah.
Yeah, I know you love bloodlines a lot. Like, here's the thing about Tiffany. She will talk so much about Adrian.
Yes.
Like, no, wait. No, is it Adrian? Yeah, I'm getting the boys' name mixed up.
Adrian and Sydney, but you don't meet them until later on.
Yeah, it's Adrian, because you don't, obviously he's not in here. He will be in the second book. But I just remember like you like trashing for Adrian, and I'm here like I don't remember anything about Adrian. I don't remember anything, so I cannot wait to read the next book, Frostbite, and just like see how I feel about Adrian. And then also real quick, have you guys watched the movie?
Mm-hmm.
We can quickly discuss that at the end, because I actually watched. Here's the thing: I don't remember if I watched it for the first time in the past, but after the reread, I watched the movie and I was having the worst time. I'm sorry. I literally tried to enjoy the movie, but by like 10 minutes in, I was like, I hate this. But I rented the movie on Amazon Prime, so I kind of have to watch the entire thing. Yeah, I paid $4. I kind of want to get my $4 worth. So I watched the entire thing, and I was like, I literally had the worst time watching the movie. So we'll talk more about that later.
Wait, I actually watched the movie when it first came out, and I thought it was pretty good. And like, I know people were hating on the Vampire Academy movie, but like, I feel like they followed kind of like the plot line pretty well.
Yeah.
And like, they stay true to the characters. I think Zoe Deutsch is like the perfect Rose, in my opinion. And I'm just really sad that they never continued on with the movie. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of sad about it.
I was on the same like the Vampire Academy movie train. I like watched it in theaters. I watched like, if you go to my like OG YouTube, not like my BookTube YouTube, like in my favorites playlist, I have like interviews with the cast. I was just watching.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I was like reading this book as well, I kept imagining like all of the scenes from the film in this book, and I was just like, I guess it kind of helped like me imagine everything and like what the characters look like. So I guess it helped with that. I probably have to rewatch the film now to gather whether I still like the film or not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's also because I'm sorry, I don't know if we're like supposed to talk about the film right now, but the film, I think it was like the directors who did Mean Girls did the film. So they made it more like funny, slapstick than it was supposed to be like serious, the way that City of Bones was made more serious in the movie.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, but that's the thing. I was like, because there are certain scenes from the movie that I remember watching, but overall as a movie, I'm like, did I watch this before? I don't know. I think I never watched it when it first came out. I think the movie came out before I read the book, so that's why. And then when I read the series for the first time, I never got around to watching the movie. I don't know. So then now I decided to watch the movie. I was like, yo, I'm not having a good time. But I was like, I might as well finish the entire movie because I rented it. So we'll talk more about the movie, like the spoiler stuff at the end, because like I have thoughts. So now we're going to go in depth with the book, Vampire Academy. So we're going to go into the spoiler section. So everything that happened in this book, we're going to talk about. I have bullet points on a post-it notes. But if anyone has like certain questions, then of course, just put it in the live chat. I was gonna say group chat again, in the live chat, and then like we're gonna have fun, discuss this book, answer some questions. So if you have not read this book, don't continue watching this live show. But if you have read this book, then of course please stay so we can discuss this book, and it's gonna be really fun. So my mom is home. Oh my god. So many things going on. And my dog is barking. Okay.
You're doing great, Trin.
My face is red right now because I'm like, oh no, I'm stressed. So real quick, I guess like the first thing we can talk about is the blood whore thing, because I find it very fascinating. So like we can talk about the stigma when it comes to the blood whore, and then the hypocrisy of it all, because I really like enjoy this discussion. So anyone wants to start?
Wait, so do you want to like kind of explain what a blood whore is?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like a Zoom meeting. It's like a classroom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if someone can explain what blood whore is, go ahead.
Is it?
Girl, have you read the book?
It's literally been a week since I read it, and I feel like I already forgot what I've just read. But isn't it when like a Moroi drinks the blood of a Dhampir?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's usually like during sex as well. So like,
yeah.
I think that's where like the wholeness comes into it.
Okay,
yeah.
So I think there's like this whole stigma because I think there's not that many female. How do you guys pronounce it? I pronounce it like Dhampirs, but I don't know if that's right. I say Dhampir.
I said Dhampirs.
Okay, we're all gonna say it the way that right. But I think it's like there's a stigma that there's not that many female Dhampirs just out there because so many of them turn to becoming blood whores where they just don't have to learn how to train to become a guardian. But then it's like this double standard of like, should Rose get to stay at the academy and stay to train to become a guardian when she took Liz off for 2 years and just like was basically really irresponsible, but then it's such a waste of her talent when she's shown such natural ability to make her like go to those camps and be essentially like a feeder for the Moroi.
Yeah. And something that I remember is that when Rose and Lissa come back, a lot of people, like, of course, they speculate why they disappear. But also, I think, like, the one thing that, like, a lot of people talk about at the school is, like, how did Lissa feed? And, of course, we know it's because of Rose. So, like, I just remember thinking, like, it's not that big of a deal. Because in the first chapter, like, Lissa just feed on Rose. But turns out there's this whole thing where if a Dhampir let a Moroi feed on them, it's, like, naughty. But then also, if you do it during sex, it's like worse. And then, yeah, I feel like there's like, oh my God, I forgot what page, but like Rose was explaining this whole thing to us, to the readers. And then she did say she said hypocrisy at its finest. It's on page 45 for me. So she explained this pretty well. And like the whole thing is basically like Moroi needs like humans to feed on. However, the humans who volunteer for this task, they get looked down. And it's like this whole hypocrisy because the Moroi actually need the humans to feed. So I find it very interesting.
I think it was like interesting as well how like the Moroi like kind of looked down on like the Dhampirs as well because of like the fact that they're only like half Moroi, but then they also rely on them for protection, and it's just like you really don't want to annoy them.
I think a big part of the book, especially like near the end and between Rose and Dimitri's relationship, is how much both of them really see the purpose of their role of being guardians and how selfless you have to become a guardian. Like the whole like they come first thing is so it's so selfless in my opinion, and so like for the Moroi to treat them that way, it's so icky. Also, I see comments about Christian, and I think during this reread, I was like, I love Christian so much during this reread.
Yeah, wait, right here. Christian. Oh
Yeah.
As I was reading this book, I was like, oh, I miss shipping Lissa and Christian together. Because I remember, like, when I was so young, I was like, hey, I love this couple. Because they're like polar opposite, but there's just something about it that I was like, yeah, I love this.
You just gotta love like the sunshine and then like the grumpy pants trope.
Yeah. And then I do want to ask, what did you guys think when Rose lied to Christian, being like, she doesn't want to hang out with you? Being like, Lissa hates you. She's basically faking this whole thing. She feels bad for you. Don't ever talk to her again. And he believes her.
I feel like it wasn't her place to step in, especially with like Rose is literally able to be in Lissa's point of view, and she sees like Lissa and Christian developing a thing with each other. So for her to like step in and to like intervene and like just mess up this relationship, I felt like that was not okay.
Yeah,
completely. Like, especially where she was like, do I need to give you the talk for like the 9th time? Or no, the 10th time. And then Liz was like, no, you've actually said it enough. And it's just like, despite those talks, she's still going towards Christian. So clearly there's some genuine connection there. It's not just like a fling or like just a one-time thing or whatever. So I think like Lissa should have just really been happy for Rose instead of just being like, ooh, I'm going to meddle.
I don't know about you guys. When my friends get into relationships that I don't approve of, I'm like, I'll say something to my friend, but I'm not gonna go up to the dude and be like,
Yes.
Yeah, like stay away. Oh my god, like she's just feeling bad for you, and that's why. Yeah, and it was just like it was so bad because I think that's around the banquet. Yo, the queen is in this. I forgot.
oh yeah,
Queen Tatiana. I was like, what is
Mhm.
she doing here in the first book? Because I remember her like appearing later on. But when she appears and when she kind of shit on Lissa, I was like,
She's like, Vasilisa, your name is meaning so much in legends. Too bad you can't live up to it. And it was just like, oh.
I was like, oh,
the
this
whole
is hard.
school's like, oh, burn.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was bad because like this was like in public too. Like everyone at the school was there. And then after like that, like Lissa gets like a little bit upset, which I get, you know.
Yeah.
And then that's when Rose was like, "Hey, Christian, like stay away from her." It was just I was like mad. I was so annoyed. Like with Rose, my feelings per fluctuate because at times I'm like, I don't like you, and then at times I'm like, yo, you're a bad bitch. Hey, like I love you. What the hell? It's very weird, but yeah. So I think I like this question.
Yeah.
What did you think about the representation of mental illness and how it was written? So I guess like we can definitely connect this to Lissa's power because I wrote it down too. Because obviously, when it comes to mental illness, like depression, it definitely ties in with her power, which is like spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I definitely like liked the focus of mental illness and like the effect that it had on teens and like the way that the teenage culture kind of influences how like we feel not only about ourselves but how we can impact other people's emotions as well by the way that we treat people. So I kind of liked the way that I kind of like the way that Richelle Mead like wrote the depictions of mental illness, and it was especially important as well because I don't think I've seen much around this like time period of YA to that extent of like that, especially in like a urban fantasy YA novel. I think it was very good, and I think that it was very like amazing. And like the one comment says that in the end Lissa actually used medication to help like with her mental health, and like Bookstash has said, it's not mentioned much in the books, so I really like that.
yeah.
I think that's something I really love about the books, and I don't know if this is like spoilery, but for like the future books, but like we talk about other mental illness things as well. That is why like the book connects so deeply to me. And I think like that scene where like Lissa's just kind of spiraling because she's used so much spirit and compulsion on like the other people, and like Rose is trying to bring her back, and she's just like she like gets someone to like, I don't know, break a bunch of things in his room, I think. And then like you can see how much like Rose fears for her, but also Rose can really connect with their emotions. It was just really fascinating.
Yeah. I will say I do wish that I know the trigger warnings beforehand, because like I know that Tiffany provides the trigger warnings. Real quick, the trigger warnings is in the description box below, so like open it up to actually like see everything. But I wish I reread the trigger warnings, because when I was reading this book, I was baffled at like the amount of scenes we have where Lissa was self-harming herself, because it was very explicit, and I literally had to like take breaks because I'm like, because like it happens more than once. And again, it's very in depth. So I literally had to like put the book down and just like do something else and come back to the book. So that's like something that I wish that I knew the trigger warnings. So real quick, we should put the trigger warnings on Twitter for everyone, like for the next book, something like that. Let me write that down. But yeah, I do wish that I knew the trigger warnings beforehand, especially when it comes to self-harm and how in depth it was when it comes to Lissa and her power.
Yeah, and in terms of the mental illness, I really like that Richelle Mead portrays kind of like the importance of having a support system. Rose is Lissa's support system. And like even with Saint Vladimir, like if he hadn't had like Shadowkiss Anna, who knows like what, how his life would have turned out. And so I feel like that's really like an important aspect of mental illness that Richelle Mead kind of draws your attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so true because you get to see the effects of not having that support system with Miss Carp too.
Yeah.
You're right. Let me see this comment. I think maybe. Yeah, because I don't know. Since I don't have depression, I cannot speak much. Like I really cannot say if it's like a good rap or not when it comes to Vampire Academy. But it's definitely something that I notice. Like, is there, like, they mentioned it, depression multiple times, self-harming, and then I like how at the end, Lissa does get help when it comes to like getting medication. But I cannot say I don't know if it's good or not, because I feel like when it comes to the rep of depression, there are some people who say yes, it's good. There's some people who say no, it's not good, and I'm in the middle because I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like I'm pretty much in the middle as well, purely because, like, as someone who does suffer from depression, like, sometimes depression rep isn't like particularly what I experience, but then it can still be good rep, just because if I don't experience it, someone else could relate to it. So I guess it's kind of like that double-edged sword of like, maybe some people can relate to it, but others can't.
Oh, I like this question. Let me see. I guess. Oh, sorry, Joe. We're leaving this. We're leaving you. I guess to like the three of us, did you view any parts of the book more critically now compared to your first read?
For me, I would say like the age difference between Rose and Dimitri was a big thing that like I didn't care about that when I was younger, but now it just like makes me a little bit uncomfy reading about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all kind of have similar opinions or if you want to just talk about that as well.
Well, I think when I read it when I was younger, I didn't like see, I don't know, I think in my mind I just like age difference, and in my mind I was just like, okay, +2 or something. Like not that bad. So then afterwards I was like, oh, that's really big. That's like yikes. But
it was like 7 years, and I was like, 7?
I don't know why I don't remember it being that bad. I remember it being at like 2. That's not that bad. But the part that I read the most critically was in the end, where Lissa finds out the reason why Mia hates her is because of her brother Aaron, who basically like used her.
And
then like threw her aside.
So
then that kind of made me sympathize with Mia a little bit more, even though Mia is kind of like
awful
in this book.
And then also real quick, I think Mia was like a freshman when Aaron he was a senior. That's also like another instance where like there is an age difference. Like he was probably like 17, she was 14. That is a huge, not huge, but still like 3 years apart, you know? Like imagine like, I don't know, I watched this video and like the person put the whole age difference thing into perspective. Like, okay, imagine you're at 17 and then imagine yourself at 14. The mindset is completely different. That's an age gap right there. Yeah, and then with Rose and Dimitri, oh my God, I was so uncomfortable. I was like, yo, she's 17 and he's what, 24, 25? And I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah, and there's a comment that says like the book was a bit aware of the problem, and I do see that, especially like towards the end where Dimitri, he acknowledges like he shouldn't be doing this, like, you know, it's not right. But obviously with like the necklace and stuff like that, it kind of impacted his, you know, thinking process and like caused him to act on his emotions rather than to like think before he acts.
Yeah, and then at the end, I think he did say that he cannot be with her is because when they become guardians of Lissa, he cannot. Is that how you say it? Lissa? I said Lissa. Yeah, but so Lissa. Basically, like he cannot risk falling in love with Rose because, like, if they were in danger, if Strigoi attacked them, he has to protect the Moroi, not Rose. So that was interesting. But I'm here like, sweetie, the age gap is literally the reason why y'all should not be together. that's the number one reason, okay? Not this whole other thing.
I remember reading that when I was younger, though. I'd be like, oh my God, swoon. Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, I had a Goodreads like review of the first book and I had to delete it because of how embarrassing it was. I said something about like, oh, it's just like an excuse that Rose and Dimitri can't be together. Like, it's not a big deal. But when I read it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Like, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Wait, this was on Goodreads?
I deleted it, but yeah, it was on Goodreads. So you can't find it anymore.
Yeah.
The evidence has been removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I forgot how I felt about this whole thing when I first read it, because I binge read the entire series, but Yeah, I think it's more like I don't pay attention to Rose and Dimitri. I pay attention to Christian and Lissa. But still, I'm rereading this now. It's like, oh my god, the age gap. Oh my god, she's so young. She's 17. Oh my god, he's 24. Lord. Oh. Oh no.
Oh, just wait.
No. Yeah, I noticed Mason. I don't remember. Yeah, I definitely. I think that Rose did say, "I know that he has a thing for
Mason
me,"
likes you, yeah.
but it just sucks that I don't feel the same way. And then she pines over Dimitri.
Yeah, and she also acknowledges it that she doesn't have feelings for Mason several times throughout the book. I'm like, okay, stop leading this boy on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so sad. This book was messy. It was messy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like a teenage kind of book because I know that Jamie, she reread this book. I read her Goodreads review, and then she did say that she really appreciated this book when it comes to like the what you call it, the teenager portrayal, because it's like very realistic, like so much backstabbing, so much slut shaming, so much. What else happened? Like just a lot. Revenge. Yeah.
Like the bullying and stuff, all that.
Oh, that was a whole lot.
Yeah, the guy who played Dimitri was really old. And in the movie, he has long hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, not a good look.
Wait, I just remember I watched the movie. There's a scene where he was like doing the gymnastic thing. I was like, what's this?
Oh, with the rings?
What's the purpose of this scene? Like we were just showing his back muscle, I guess. Like, were we supposed to like fall for him? But I was like, what is the purpose of the scene? Like he's just, I don't know, doing gymnastic, and then we're just yeah, that was weird. I don't know how old the actor is. People say that he looks so old, but I don't know how old he was when he was filming the movie.
We can find out.
I like this one. How do you guys feel about the slut shaming? It's a very interesting plot point, and for the world building around the Imperial Woman, but I think condemns the lying, not the shaming. Oh yeah, I think this ties into the blood whore, because like in this book, I believe Rose was deemed as a blood whore, and then the rumor starts because of Mia. We can talk about Mia later because I have thoughts. But yeah, that part, I actually felt bad for Rose, because I think in this book she did say she cried, and she never cries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you know like it's bad. So like she cried, she felt bad, people turned against her. It's this whole thing, because it's one of those things where it's like when she and Lissa were out in the world, and Lissa has to feed on her, it's based on survival. But people twist it into like a dirty thing, and then eventually Mia gets these two guys to spread the rumor that they have sex with Rose. They fed on her. It's just this whole thing, and I was like, this is so awful, because like no one deserves this. Like even Rose, even she has issues, but no one deserves this at all, including Rose. And I felt really bad because she was like really upset, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sucks so much.
I think it's also really interesting because they talk about the process of like having your blood sucked out. It was very addicting, kind of like drugs.
Yeah,
and that was really like, yeah. And then like the humans who get on, like who do it, end up becoming like consistently high.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? I'm sorry, I'm reading.
29 and 20.
That's a bigger age difference than two characters. Wow.
This is worse. So, first of all, thank you so much for looking this up for us. So he was 29 and then Zoe was 20. The age difference is bigger.
It was so strange because I was watching Zoe in Sweet Life on Deck, and then you like go watch Vampire Academy, and I'm like, oh, that's so different.
Yeah,
like, oh, hello.
Yeah, I remember she was like playing Zach's girlfriend. That was interesting. And then this movie, oh my god, it's been a while. But I don't watch, like, I don't follow her movies, I guess, movies or TV shows. So like ever since Vampire Academy, I don't really see her. But man, the age gap, oh, this is bad. So, oh yeah, let's talk about Mia. Oh my god, this girl. I was like, here's the thing. Okay, so so I remember Rose spreading a rumor about Mia and the parents, and I'm like, that's not okay, because like you're shitting on like a classmate because of their parents' profession. Like, even though it's not professional, whatever, still it sucks because you're in a way you're. So that was bad, and I was kind of mad at Rose because she's making fun of Mia because of her parents. And then Mia did the whole slut shaming thing. I was like, hey, this is also bad. And then when I learned that she cheated on her current boyfriend Aaron to have sex with these two men so they can spread the rumor, I was like, oh my god,
extreme.
I cannot defend you anymore because this is like bad. That was messy. It was so bad, like so bad. So
it was all just petty drama.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's interesting how Mia. Oh yeah, sorry, you go.
Oh, I just think like I think it's like weird as well, like in how in the grand scheme of things, like they think the Mia thought that the biggest problem was kind of just like her reputation being ruined, and like she needs to like ruin like Vasilisa and Rose's like reputations in order to be a queen bee. Yeah, there's probably going to be much bigger issues in the world around her. Like the Strigoi, like, and all of this, and like all she's concerned about is her reputation. I just found it like quite like it's very much that teenage essence, and I think that like Richelle Mead like nailed it quite well in it, and it's just it's just great. Like their problems are so minute compared to like everything else.
Yeah,
that's high school. I don't know about you guys. I went to public high school. The drama that happens is like, wow.
Honestly. Sometimes you called it.
Yeah, it's just I think it's wild that she does whatever it takes to take down Rose and Lissa. Like cheating on her boyfriend, and then having sex with these two men to spread the rumor. I was like, what? Like this is so bad. I like Fallon's comment. Yeah, I do feel bad for me. I'm not, because I think she's very insecure when it comes to her reputation. I think that's why it struck a nerve when Rose spread a rumor about her parents. It's because she wants to join the royal so badly that when the rumor starts, and like she knows that it's true, but still she's just like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to take down these two other girls. I was gonna say women, but they're not. They're very young. They're girls. But yeah, it's just like petty. And then isn't there like a scene at, is it prom? Like the whole dance thing? That's when like we found out that the two men, God, it was so bad. It's so messy. But
don't you guys think it's like kind of double standardy? Well, it's kind of extreme, but like the way that the Moroi treat the Danvers and expect them to become guardians, but then still look down on them. You would think that Rose has some semblance of like empathy for Mia, whose parents are custodians. Technically, it's not like you're a guardian or anything, but you're doing important work to an extent that like she should be able to understand that. Like, why would you approve of royals looking down on them? Like, she should be able to like empathize with the whole like, there's that other group looking down on you part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because she's probably like kind of blinded by this petty teenage drama. I guess right now what I can say is that hopefully like Mia does grow as a character. Hopefully like she'll be better at the like what you call it, better by like later in the series. Rose also, because like this is the very first book, and like we have 5 more books, so like I do expect like the characters to grow. Because like we have 5 books, there's so much room for all of these characters to grow. So like right now, I'm gonna shit on them, but I'm gonna be like, but I'm still rooting for you. So like, please.
I love how Tiffany's just laughing like she knows.
It gets better, guys. It gets better. And also, I'm the type of person who can't sit still, so I'm always like moving when I'm like in a live show.
Yeah. So
what element would you guys want to do, like have? Because I love the magic system in this book, and I'm like so excited for you guys. I feel like we only touched the surface of it, so I'm excited for you guys to like learn more about it.
Yeah. First of all, I love that Sandy knows this. It reminds me of Avatar. The Last Airbender.
I knew you were gonna say that.
This is my time to shine. I will always bring up Avatar: The Last Airbender in every discussion. Oh, there we go. So I even in this book, when they explained the magic system, I said Avatar is shook. So I believe fire, water, earth, air, spirit. I choose. I don't know. Oh, that's hard because I feel like we don't see much. We see fire because of Christian. We see spirit because of Lissa. But other than that, water when it comes to Mia. But other than that, everything else, not really. I think Nally and Victor does earth.
They're both earth, yeah.
Yeah. What? Air? I'm missing air. I don't know anyone who does air.
The person when Lissa gets kidnapped, and then like
oh yeah, they blew air.
They like blew air to like her brain, so it was a lot of pressure or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that was dark. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Also, like the dog, like the hunting dogs. That was
the sign hound.
Yeah,
that was scary. Honestly, I feel like maybe fire when it comes to Vampire Academy, but when it comes to Avatar, I've always chosen Earth. But I don't know, it's just like Earth is not fascinating to me in this, but I like fire. I like fire in this, so that's my answer. Fire.
Ooh, I think I'd go for air.
Ooh, yeah.
Purely because partially of like Avatar: The Last Airbender / Korra, but then also at the same time, there's just a lot you can do. Like you can neutralize fire by taking away the oxygen. You can stop someone from breathing by taking away their oxygen. You can like hopefully take the oxygen out of water, so it's just hydrogen. And then for Earth, I have no idea. Like Earth is probably the only one I can't stop. But
Joel, are you an air sign?
Yes.
I can see it.
Oh, no.
I feel like no, that's okay. That's a good thing.
I know.
I would pick fire based on this book because it just feels so like useful because you can kill Strigoi with that. But I think realistically, like in Avatar world, I'd be Earth.
Yeah, for me, for the Avatar world, I choose water, and for Vampire Academy world, I'd also choose water. I don't know, I just really love Katara, so I like identify with her character, and like she's the character that I associate with like water bending and the water abilities, so that's why I choose water.
Yeah,
I think if we're going off, like our entire chart, like my chart is really balanced in all the elements. Yeah. So low key, I could be the Avatar, but who knows?
Yeah. People say there's water, and then this one's fire.
Good choices.
I think I'm a water sign. Pisces, is that water?
I think so. Yeah.
It sounds like it's a fish.
I don't know. Thank you. I believe Pisces is water. So that's interesting, yeah. But I don't know, I never like connect to water, I guess. I choose fire for this because like the way Christian uses it. And then also we can definitely talk about how I noticed this discussion of like Moroi like having these abilities and the fact that they can, I was gonna say bend elements, but yeah, they can bend elements. However, they don't use it to fight. They wholeheartedly just rely on the damper to fight for them. And like there's this whole discussion, I think, was it Victor? He was the one who brought up like this whole thing being like, hey, did you know that back in the days, Moroi, like they fight using their power, their elements, but now the damper is doing the dirty work, and that's not fair because the damper can definitely like die.
Yeah, so Sebastian I think said something similar because when like he cast that fire and he was just like, so what? I can use my abilities and what?
Yeah, especially because it talks about how like the dampers themselves are already like dying out because they're doing so much to protect the Moroi. And we should talk about Christian's parents because I really like Christian's stance of like, oh, like we can be able to fight too. Also, totally agree with Melissa's comment, but I'm not going to say anything else because you guys aren't there yet.
Wait, what?
Someone made a comment, and I was like, I understand because of later books, but we're not going to say anything for spoilers.
Okay. Oh man, I read the series and I don't remember.
Me too. I'm like, wait, what?
Is it the witch thing?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so let's talk about Christian's parents.
Yeah, that was I remember that, like them turning into Strigoi. I think what makes me sad is like the whole backstory when it comes to Christian. Like the parents become Strigoi, they came back for him. They were about to take the boy too, and then wait for him to turn a little bit older, and then turn him into Strigoi. And then his aunt saved him, and then the people came and then they kill his parents.
Mhm.
Oof, that whole thing. That was I was like, yeah, I feel bad for you. And then also he gets like the rep of being like unstable. Like literally Rose mentioned it multiple times that he's I forgot the exact word that she used, but like it implies that he's unstable. He's gonna start shit. I don't know. I feel bad for him. I do.
Especially when Rose is talking to Christian again after like she reconciles. It's like, oh, Lissa relates a lot to you because like you both saw your parents die. And he's like, no, Lissa saw her parents die. I saw my murder.
Yeah, I was like, that hurt. Yeah, because it's 100% true. Like that really hurt.
Yeah.
I'm feeling. Let me see.
I'm just so excited for you guys to read the later books. I didn't realize how like a lot is covered in this book, but it's still so surface level in terms of like everything else in the world and like the character development that goes on.
Yeah, there's also some foreshadowing in this book that
Yeah.
I've noticed. Like, I really don't want to get too much into it, but like one of the questions that Dimitri asked Rose is, what would you do if one of your loved ones turned into a strigoi? And I was like, oh.
That whole discussion,
yeah.
Joel's lost.
I'm not gonna go too into it because spoilers, but like, yeah, that was one that like I didn't notice when I first read the book, but then when I was reading it, I was like, oh,
yeah, I remember that they had that discussion. I was like, oh, okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I think this book really captured the whole like teen high school drama element of it, and I feel like. Yeah. I don't know. That's what makes me sad. I feel like some people read this book and they're like, "Oh, it's so surface level," but then I'm like, "No, read the other books."
Yeah. It's just the first book. You gotta read the others because they'll go in depth. It's more deep. Okay, I think this is the last bullet point. Victor as a father. Is that on my end? Oh my god, I hope not. Tiffany, you look guilty. Is that you? Okay. Okay, so Victor as a father. Here's the thing. when Victor shows up and we learn about his illness, I was like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of remember that. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, I think Victor's a bad guy. But this is where I went wrong. I was convinced that Victor is gonna kidnap Lissa and become a strigoi. Because I think there's this whole thing where when you become a strigoi, your magic power, all of like the bad things, I don't know, it gets cut off. So in a way, he like Victor can live forever if he chooses to be a strigoi. But then I'm like, that does not make sense because he can just kill anyone and become a strigoi. He does not need Lissa. And then I was like, oh, he just needs Lissa to heal him forever. So yeah.
Joel, did you foreshadow or like see that Victor would be the bad guy?
Right.
You know, it's Joel's audio. That's weird.
She's dragging you.
You have like a Terminator voice right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Okay. Okay. Astro's like figured things out. I guess. What was I gonna say? We can talk about. Are we just shitting on Victor?
For a bit.
Okay, you're good.
Oh, you're good.
Right.
Earlier, you were like...
my AirPods probably like malfunctioned a second, but because I'd already seen the film, like I already kind of knew. So like I got to see like the build up to it, and I was just like, oh, like the build up in the book was just so much better than it was in the film, but like I still like appreciated like what the film did. But yeah, I was just like, oh, like I still got the feeling of it, which was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, once Victor makes it, okay. Oh, sorry. So yeah, Victor's a bad guy. I guess like I definitely want to talk about him being a father, because like his relationship, like the fact that he just uses his daughter or that stuff, that's where I'm like, oh, I'm angry about this. I'm very, very sad. I'm very sad that he like abuses his power as a dad to kind of manipulate his daughter Natalie. Like the fact that she spies on him. I think she was the one who did the thing to the bench to make Rose break her ankle. So like that was something that I forget. But I think like the part that makes me so mad, and again I forgot about this until we got to the part she becomes a Strigoi. Natalie becomes a Strigoi because of her dad. I was so angry. I was angry. I was like, I cannot believe you would make your daughter do this to bust you out of prison, basically. I was so mad.
It's because like she never really got that much of his attention. I think during the scene where like they go shopping or whatever, like there's like a line in there somewhere about how like Victor was just giving Lissa all of the attention. Natalie just like really wants his attention.
Yeah.
And then like she literally will do anything.
Yeah. That was upsetting.
Yeah. I think it's like
oh, you didn't go.
I think it was just like sad as well, like seeing Natalie like not have that confidence like in herself either. Like she was very like insecure about like who she was and like who she wanted to be in like this wider world of like Roy and Olympia. And I just think that like if she just had a better like support network, I think it would have like she would have just been better off. And I think Richelle Mead does it very well, where she shows like the consequences of not having like a good support network. And Natalie unfortunately was like very easy to manipulate, and hence why she turned Strigoi at the end.
Yeah, and also I was shocked. Because she died. I was like, what? Yeah, I don't know. Like I really did not remember the ending. Like her becoming a Strigoi, Natalie, and then getting killed by Dimitri. Like Dimitri saves Rose because I think Natalie was about to kill Rose. I forgot all of that. So I was like, oh snap, she's dead. Now what? And then like again, Victor, he gets sent back to prison. He didn't escape. They caught him. Oh, it was just, I was upset. It was like really sad for me because it's like, man, this man is like Victor's selfish. He's very selfish. Like he kind of threw his own daughter under the bus. So like I was really sad when it comes to that.
But he like really thinks that what he's doing is for a greater cause, because the whole reason why he wants to be healed is so like, well, like you obviously want to be healed, but he wants to become king because he thinks he could do a better job than Tatiana.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this, but like his stance is that he believes that the Moroi should learn how to fight with the Dampier, not just to rely on the Dampier to do the dirty work. Right? That was his whole stance.
That's like one of his stances, yeah.
Okay, it's just like there's just so much that I don't remember. Yeah, Victor's. I feel bad for Natalie. I think now. I mean, is there anything you guys want to discuss when it comes to this book?
I'm just so excited for you guys to read the next one.
Oh, I saw a comment. Oh my god, where was it? This one. Tiffany, your impact.
I am so trash. I saw Jamie's updates about like how she finished the book, and I was like, yes. Because I don't know, everything just gets more in depth. Like even like the royal like system, like political system, you learn more about that. You learn more about the magic system. All of the characters, like they're teens right now, right? And I think they grow up to be like 20. I don't know, maybe like 18. I forgot how old they are, but like they'll be much older, and you really get to see them grow up and become, I don't know, go through shit.
I will say I just put up Melissa's comment. I'm gonna ask Melissa, is this your first time reading this book? Because here's the thing, I cannot say much, but I'm gonna put this up and let you read. Read this comment. Everyone read this comment. Joe looks shook.
I'm like, maybe, but at the same time, I feel like it would be something that would like take a great deal in order to turn them back from Truoak, because they'd obviously have to try and like reattune and reconnect themselves to the elements so they can get powers back. So it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah. I like this question. I cannot believe we never answered this basic question, but who are your favorite characters? Right now, I like Lissa. There's just something about her that I really like Lissa. I think she's just like, I like Lissa's and Rose's friendship so much, and I like how in this book, even though I feel bad for her, like what she's going through, there's just something about Lissa that I really like. So I think she's my favorite character as of right now. Have you guys forgot the other characters?
I was gonna let Joel go first because he looked like he was gonna say something.
Yeah.
I think mine probably, I'm like between Lissa and Christian. Purely because like I kind of like the broody type, but then at the same time he has such like a sad like backstory. But I feel like there's so much potential for him like in later books. And so like hopefully like, but also Lissa's just great. She's the supreme. Like we love to see it. And I just think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for her to explore Spirit later on and just see like its full potential, because I feel like it's going to cause some like havoc potentially. So
yeah. Mine would probably be, when I first read it like the first time, it was definitely Rose because she's the main character. But then I think now would be either Lissa or Christian, especially with Lissa because she's like the perfect angel, like who you aspire to be. But then within this book, you really got to see like everyone who really goes through like something, and you don't. It's like not as perfect as it seems on the surface.
Yeah.
I would say that my favorite character is Rose. I know it's just kind of basic, but like I really love her, and like when I first read the book, I felt like really connected to her and like her love for Lissa and their friendship that they shared. But if I had to pick a character that wasn't like one of the main ones, I'd probably choose Mason. He's like such an underdog, and we learn more about him in the second book. But I don't know, I just like, even though he tries to like get Rose to like him back and stuff like that, I feel like he does have a role in kind of like moving the story forward. Yeah. And also like, this is kind of unrelated, but like when Rose had Mason apologize to Christian for her, I was like, what?
I think Christian was like, no, that's not a good apology. Because like you got someone to do it for you.
Do it for you.
It's such a teenage thing.
Yeah.
So Fallon said, Rose is my favorite in this book, but my favorite character comes up in the next book. I agree.
Let me see. Oh my god. Right here.
Interesting.
I know, Tiffany. I know.
Okay, like I'm at the point where on Twitter I follow an account called Bloodlines Bot where they just like tweet like quotes from the Bloodline series, so it's like I'm in deep.
Oh my god. I think I remember there was a tweet about, what's his name? Adrian? Oh my god. I'm getting things mixed up. I get Christian and Adrian mixed up. But there was like a tweet about Adrian, and from the St. Vladimir's Twitter, I retweeted that. I was like, this is for Tiffany.
I appreciate it.
Okay, real quick, Melissa, I've read the series, but okay. I'm not gonna say much. This is back to the comment about turning Ashur going back to Moroi. Anyway. Mason gives me Simon. Yeah, I see it. Is that why you like him, Sammy?
Yeah, now I see why. Because I love Simon, and like he's like the nerdy character that like always tries to do whatever he can to support the main character. And yeah, I feel like I always love those supporting character roles.
Yeah.
Mason is just like such a golden retriever in my opinion.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, I don't pay much attention. Oh my god. Like I definitely noticed Mason, but like I never like give him much thought because I guess I'm so focused on Lissa and like her story and what she's going through. But I definitely noticed Mason because like he was the one who got the two guys to like to tell the truth, to apologize. A part of me is like, what did you do to get them to apologize like that? So he's powerful. He's resourceful. I give him that.
What do you guys think about like the writing of this book? Because I think that's where so one of my like good friends, Alexandra, I tried to get her to read this book like when we were younger, and she hated it, and I was like really sad. So I was like, I need this read along because I would need friends to finally talk about this book with.
Yeah.
But I personally just like really like the writing because it's so like sensitive, and I really like the humor. So I was thinking of I like the humor in like the other books more, but in this book there's this one scene where she like is talking to Dimitri after she like breaks her foot. And then Dimitri was like, I can't find it, but Dimitri was like, do you know what I thought when like I saw like your foot broken? And then Rose was like, wow, she's such a loser. I was like, that's so funny.
Yeah, I think she was thinking that, and then I was like, I remember that. It was funny, yeah. I will say, I think I wrote this in my notes because every time I read a book, I would take notes on the notes app. I think I did right. The writing isn't the best. There's just so much telling and not enough showing. I think there's like a few parts where it's just like, it feels info dumpy. So I think that's my gripe. But other than that, like I'm fine with the writing. Like I still enjoy this book. So, you know, I don't hate the writing, but I feel like it can be better. So hopefully it will be better with like the later books.
I think I was the same. Like, I think it was a little bit too much telling, but like it wasn't so much that it like completely destroyed the story for me or like impacted the way the story was told. I just think that like the voice was very compelling. Like at the end of the day, like Rose's narration was just very kind of teenage-esque and like exactly like how I probably would have thought like years ago if I had like read this. So I definitely think like I enjoyed it, and I think that it was just kind of like that perfect conversational style that kind of just made you like relate to the protagonist in one way or another.
I think now. Okay, so I was gonna say something. Oh my god. I think we're done with the book. I think we talk like we got everything. But like, is there anything you guys want to like add when it comes to the book?
I'm excited to read the sequel.
Okay. So
do you plan on doing like a video and like marathoning? Or are you gonna like read it with us like one by one?
I think I probably will read it with you one by one. Just because like I don't know at the moment if I have enough time to like marathon an entire like series. But yeah, I'm definitely like I think I'm gonna marathon it with you. Purely because then it'll just be like something I can tune into at the end of every month and like discuss and stuff. So
okay, thank you. But I will say it's gonna be hard to read a book each month. Like even after this book, I was like, I want to jump into the second book so badly. But I couldn't, because it's like then I'm very scared that I will get my thoughts mixed up with the second book and the first book, and then I'm gonna be a mess in this live show. So but like in a few weeks I'll read Frostbite. So I guess now we can talk about the movie. If you don't know, Vampire Academy has a movie, came out 2014 probably, like I think around.
It came out so much later, like in comparison to the other big YA movies at the time, I feel. Because
I
don't know.
Let me see. 2014. Yeah, February 7, 2014 is 7-year anniversary. It's about to be here. Whoa.
I just felt kind of old hearing that.
I took a peek to see when this book was first published. It was published in 2007.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Wow. I read the series in 2014. So I feel like I was late, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. The movie. Wait, real quick. I believe there was like a teaser last year when it comes to the movie. Like, didn't Penguin Teen did like I don't know. I feel like they were teasing for like another movie. I don't know.
See, okay, that's what they always do that, and I'm just like, well, not always, but like they did that, and I was like, it's been so long. You're telling me we're getting another movie now? Like, I'm not complaining, but
maybe they can do a show. I don't know, because I feel like
the Vampire Saga.
There we go. We can do a show, because I think for the Mortal Instruments, the first movie, it flopped. Then a few years later, they did the TV show, the Shadowhunters TV show. So like that's like that can be an option for this. But yeah, okay. So I watched the movie again. I don't remember if this is my first time. I believe this is my first time watching the entire movie. I rented it on Amazon Prime. I was so excited, and then 10 minutes in, I was like, I hate this. But I had to finish the entire thing. But still, I oh my god. I think there's just something about the movie. I don't know.
I think it's like the tone of the movie was just like, especially in terms of like marketing, being that the directors were like, you know, associated with Mean Girls, they kind of made it like kind of like, you know, like a funky vampire movie that's not Twilight. Like I feel like they tried to make that distinction that's not Twilight. And yeah, it's not Twilight, but I feel like their take of it just wasn't it. And it made me sad that, you know, not a lot of people saw it in theaters. And because of that, you know, there's no second movie.
Oh, okay.
Like they tried to make it super like, this is going to be a funny movie, like The Duff or something.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie.
I was so excited. I like went to the theaters.
Wow. Wait, did you enjoy it when you watched it the first time in theaters?
I think I was like Sandy. I was like, I'm happy that we have it, and I think like they did some parts right, but I wish that instead of making it so like haha, we're so funny, this is so cool and edgy, they'd made it more serious in like a Twilight-esque way, where like they took Twilight seriously. Like, granted, we don't like think about Twilight being a very serious movie when we watch it now, but at the time it was like, oh my god, this is so moving, this is so like, oh, like, you know. And I wish they did that with this movie, because I think this movie explores more themes. This book is better than Twilight, in my opinion, and I wish it got the hype it deserved.
Yeah. Joe, I think you said you watched the movie recently, like a few months ago.
Yeah, I think it was like December or November I watched it. But I feel like, I think the film definitely skipped out on a lot of like the darker themes that the book had, and like gave the book so much depth and like so much more width. Than the film. And I think that they did the book a real disservice by doing that, because they could have really shown, like, not graphically, but they could have really shown like the impact of like mental health in like the teenage drama sphere, but like they didn't do that as much as I would hope. I think that if they decided to like readapt it, like maybe put it into a TV show, because I know like a lot of people are more so looking to TV nowadays than films. Especially with like the success that we've seen with Shadowhunters and other shows, and like the recent adaptation of the Winx Club, which has received mixed reviews, but it's still kind of doing well. So but I think that it could do well if they decided to adapt it.
I don't know. I think it was like the whole sneak peek, the teaser, like last year, where I'm like, is something coming when it comes to this? I don't know. I think the part that like that the part in the movie where I'm just like, I hate this. I don't know. I think it's when it's the begin. I try to push the movie out of my mind immediately. Like the moment I finish it, I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna think about this again. I don't know. I think there's a few parts where I'm like, I don't like this. I don't know. I really cannot remember anything from the movie, and I watched it last week. Like, that's how badly I want to push it out of my mind. But I didn't enjoy the movie that much, which is a bummer, because I enjoyed the book so much. So of course I went into the movie being excited, because I'm like, I've never watched the movie, might as well watch it now. And I was let down, but at the same time, it's fine. Okay.
How I feel about like the books in terms of adaptations, it's like, I think the Bloodlines is so much better than VA, in the same way that I thought Infernal Devices was so much better than Mortal Instruments. But you can't really adapt it until you do like the first half.
Yeah. Wait, you said you like Bloodlines over this? I know that, but I just want to like make sure I'm hearing it right. I know Tiffany like loves Bloodlines. So I think that's about it when it comes to. Oh yeah, does anyone want to say anything about the movie? Okay, I find it so weird how I'm like, let's talk about the movie, but I'm here like, I don't remember anything from the movie.
It's just not that great.
I would say it's not the best, but still, like, it's nice when it first came out, because I think like people like big fans of the books, they were so excited for the movie. Because here's the thing, I got into BookTube summer of 2013, and I remember Christine from Poland Bananas Books, she got like an opportunity to like go to the premiere of Vampire Academy. She made multiple videos about Vampire Academy. Like, I kid you not, her book talk for this book and for the series, it was 10 years ago. Like, she read these books when they came out, and she made book talks. And I rewatched the one about Vampire Academy. Her video came out like at least 10 years ago. Like, that's how old I feel. So like, I think, so because of her, I was aware of Vampire Academy, and then I was aware of the movie because she made videos about it. So like, I remember that era, because that was when I joined BookTube, and I was like watching a lot of BookTube videos, and then eventually I read the Vampire Academy series. So
it's so interesting to think about like how much books have changed and how much BookTube has changed.
Yeah, because
since that time.
Yeah, because I feel like back then it was a little bit small. Like, I guess like the bigger booktubers now, back then they were like what people watch. And then I think over the years, a lot of people joined BookTube, and I think that's wonderful, because like we need more people to for this community, because like everyone reads different books. Everyone has different tastes, different opinions. Everyone comes from different cultures, different countries, different backgrounds, and I want that. I want that.
I feel that.
This is for Tiffany.
She's right, and she should say it.
Wait, real quick, is Bloodlines like your favorite series, Tiffany?
It's not my favorite, but it's like my top 5 probably. Like whenever I would like be on an airplane, like before I really got into reading and I just needed something to kill time, I would like reread one of the Bloodlines books.
Okay, yeah.
What about you? Yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Sandy? Like, which one you prefer, Vampire Academy or Bloodlines?
I definitely prefer Bloodlines as well.
Really?
Yeah, and fun fact, I actually read the first book in the Bloodline series before I read Vampire Academy.
Oh, that's so weird.
I was like, I shouldn't have done that because like, it spoiled some stuff in the first series, but I still really enjoy the Vampire Academy series regardless. And like Tiffany mentioned earlier, like the whole Vampire Academy world and the Bloodlines world, they're all just, I see them as like one giant thing in my head. So like, even though I do prefer the Bloodline series together, I can't like, disregard the original series, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like all interconnected. So
yeah,
it
exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah. Wait, Joel, are you planning to, I guess, continue with the Bloodline series?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, I think
Really?
I'm definitely invested in the series now, and I think Tiffany would probably kill me if I don't. So,
So we're doing this for Tiffany. Wow. Here's the thing. I don't know if I prefer which one. So I'll let you know my answer by next year as I reread everything. But from my memory, I really enjoy the Vampire Academy series because I binge read all 6 books within a month in 2015. It was like July of 2015. Wow. I was 17 probably. Like, oh my God, I was like about to be a senior in high school. And of course, back then I didn't have much to do. So I just like read a lot at home. I binge read all 6 books in 1 month. And then for the Bloodline series, I read them for the first time in 2016. So like a year later, and I was a freshman in college. And I remember reading those books, but I don't remember like my thoughts and feelings, I guess. Cause like, I don't remember if I love it or not. Like love it. Or like I read the books just because it's in the Vampire Academy world, So I'll let you know my thoughts next year.
I read these books like after Shadow Kiss, which is the 3rd book. I started reading fan fiction because the 4th book wasn't out yet. Because I was just like, Shadow Kiss ends on such a cliffhanger. I was just like, okay, I need fan fiction or something. And then after that, I started reading like each book as it came out, like when it was released.
For the Vampire Academy series?
For both series, like for Vampire Academy and Bloodlines. I read it like during their debut year. You're
an OG.
It was, this is like something kind of interesting because I feel like Richelle Mead's not very active on social media and like, like in comparison to like Rick Riordan or like Cassandra Clare or like all the other YA authors of the time. Well, Rick Riordan's not YA, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just like, there's no one here to talk to me about this.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you're an OG in a way. Because like these books came out like at least a decade ago, so like it's just hard to like wrap my mind around it because it's like knowing that this came out in 2007. Did you say 2007?
Mm-hmm.
I just got to America in 2007. Like, I just got to America, so like I didn't read a lot when I was learning English. So obviously I never like care about these books until like when I was a teenager. And I feel like it was a good thing I read these books when I was a teenager because these books are about teenagers. So I think that's about it. We've been here for at least an hour. It's been really fun to discuss Vampire Academy with everyone. Thank you, Joel, for being a special guest on this live show.
Thanks for having me.
And for February, Frostbite, we will have another special guest for the live show. It's going to be very exciting. I will tweet out the information on Twitter later this week. In like a few days, basically, I will tweet out information for the Frostbite live show because it's going to be very exciting. But that's about it. Anyone who wants to say anything?
Thanks you for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to continue with the series with Frostbite. So yay! I don't know how to end this live show, guys. Like you can tell.
It's always like the most awkward part to end a live show.
I was like, what did I say? But thank you so much for everyone joining us for this live show. I hope you guys will join us for the Frostbite live show. Very excited for that. It's going to be at the end of February, obviously. And yeah, it's just like fun to like do a read along and have people joining us and discussing this book with us. So thank you so much. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.